Okay, is everyone ready? I'll go James to tell the guys that we're gonna be starting. Hey everyone, we're gonna be starting in just 1 minute. Just waiting for.
Do you copy over?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Harvey to just link the. Okay. Guys are goofing up in the game chat. Kind of expect, yeah. I think, yeah. No, it's the semi-final for the final of the losers bracket. Harvey's not linking it. What the fuck's going on, Harvey? No, I can't write to the going live. Oh, I can. Okay. Live now. Anti-MKB versus Solaris. Okay, booting it up now. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Season 2 qualifiers for the Masters League. Today we got one of the semi-finals of the losers bracket for the team that will earn a spot at the final of the losers bracket that will then go on to play the winner of the other semi-final. That's between Team Force and I think it's going to be, yep. Exactly, and the team that wins that game will then go on to play a grand final against Zilio for the final spot at Masters League. Today's game is between Solaris and Anti-MKB. Here with me today is Storms, and map's Bank, with Anti-MKB starting on defense. What do you think is the approach that these two teams should take on this map? Okay, first two bans are going to be Jackal and Mondi from the attackers, Jackal ban from the defenders, and then Mondi ban from the attackers. Moving on to the first defensive ban, it is going to be that ferocious Ella shotgun removed by the attackers. It's obviously a very fearful thing to face on a close quarters map like Bank. Mondi obviously also removed by the attackers. Quite interesting though, because the attackers they're going to be playing 6 rounds on attack. They could maybe use that Mondi for an extra pushing power at site. Echo is going to be the last ban coming out from the defenders. Again, we're going to be seeing two bans from the sides that will probably use them the more. So I mean, banning out Monty from the attack is quite peculiar, because the attackers are going to be one of the most useful operators. Is going to be Monty and pushing that down floor on CCTV, and also Echo is obviously going to be one of the most critical operators to defend that down floor with his ability to do the yokai stance. What do you think on the rest of the bans, on Jackal and Ella? Okay, first objective going to be coming out is very interesting here from Anti-MKB. It's going to be CEO offices. Typically not the first objective that you see coming out from a team that has two objectives like the one in archives and bottom floor. People would consider it to be one of the weakest in this map, alongside that open area objective that teams to not seem to touch at all when they play defense on bank. It means we do see the clash, which is quite an interesting option. I have seen teams defend this top floor. Vivect especially will be a very special thing to see how they have prepared their strat to face the attackers with a clash. Starting in the round, we're going to be seeing two hard breachers come out from the attackers. Obviously expecting for the defenders to go down floor, which is actually one of the vital things to have two hard breachers when attacking down floor, because of the two walls you have to open plus the three hatches. Also have the Zofia and the Capta, so heavy utility team there by the attackers. On the defensive side, we do have the Valkyrie. Outside cameras obviously going to be critical for maybe some runouts on the middle floor. Valkyrie is playing on middle floor. She's the only one as well. Jaeger and everybody else are playing on top floor. Hibana has taken some damage. I think that's from a crossfire with the mute there. Jaeger's been taken out by Splug, who's been pushing very aggressively. Splug does take some damage, but not enough to kill him off. Stripped evens out the numbers by a kill onto Yaris. That is now 4v4. Thermite repelling into Skylight. Stairwell is going to be going for that wall. Genius takes out and Strip. That's the castle gone. Meanwhile, Thermite sees the Valkyrie, does manage to take her out, does take some damage as well. Thatcher's coming out, so that's going to be Thermite able to open the wall, but he gets knocked down by the Clash. Not finished off though, he is knocked. Clash is going to be finishing him off, now only down to the mute and the Clash to keep this round alive for the defenders. Thatcher trying to decide if he has to make a run for the diffuser or if that is too risky. I'm not sure that the mute is covering the diffuser. Splug takes down the castle, sorry for that, the Clash. That's now only the mute left on a 1v3 situation with the SMG-11, so not ideal there for the mute. Does land some shots onto the Capita, who now is very, very low. They've got him pinched though tight. Thermite, Thatcher is going down for the plant, right behind CEO office. Zofia is going to be pushing the mute very hardly, and she's going to be the one to get the kill in the end. Amzi with a very nice kill onto Zauk, and that's going to be making this 1-0 in favor of Solaris. So do you think that this came down to the objective selection? Do you think that the attempt to go on top floor threw the attackers off as much as they expected to? Or do you think that maybe they should have gone on to the typical downstairs objective?
I think it did to an extent. I think probably did catch the attackers off, but they did have the utility for that push to be able to do that push anyway, bringing the Thermite and the Hibana. I think defensive wise, their problem there was just they had Clash Clan in Giant's Closet, which wasn't really much use for her because all she was doing was just peeking with her SMG through the shotgun holes that you made. Not really using in the corridor or playing in any positions that she could use her shield effectively. And then the Jaeger was quite aggressive very early on in that round onto stock room, which
totally agree.
Downfall.
Totally agree that Clash utility wasn't used to the full extent. I mean, bringing Clash and having her pick out of Giant Door's closet with that SMG, not the best of choice. You could have brought another operator, maybe a Bandit, better defend those walls that went down from the Thatcher. And the fact that they did have the Thermite, which I think was kind of expected, even if they went to middle floor objective, even if they went down floor, Thermite is always going to be brought out into bank, especially when it's not banned. And they did have the utility to complete the push. Didn't really throw them off because utility wise you did not really have to prepare for any of the objectives of bank differently than the other. I mean, you will always have your hard breacher Thatcher with him to disable the electronics. You will always have a Jackal if he's available. Capital is always useful as well because there are a lot of tight corners in bank that need pushing out. We're gonna be seeing people be on the rooftop of garage. Amzi almost catches off that mute, who was playing close to the elevator very riskily. Attackers do seem to be taking a similar approach to last time. Clash again, playing into Janitors. They have some pretty interesting rotation holes here. Try and watch out for any push from the attackers taking their time here to enter the map. 1 minute gone, and the attackers are just now entering the map. Hibana now playing on top of Scarlight. The attackers are taking the time by far here. Cryo gets the 1 kill onto Strip Giraffe though. That's now Castle gone. Not sure why they're taking this attack so passively. Their time is running out. They do have a Clash, which could significantly slow them down on the final push they try to do. Zofia now on those stairwell windows. Not Zofia, I'm sorry. I think that's IQ. Nope, that's Thermite. So sorry. Hermit's gonna be rappelling in. I think Clash has a fixed sight on him, and yes, she does miss shots though, but quite close though. Amzi gets another kill onto Janzi. That's now 5v2. Splag gets another kill onto Sauk. That's now 5v2. NVD gets another kill on Genius. That's now 4v2. NVD picks the Hibana from below, cuts off some of her health, but the MPX is a very weak weapon compared to some other weapons that the attackers have. Liams gets a double kill onto Amzi and Splug, evening out the numbers, and now the defenders are ahead on HP wise because both Thermite and Hibana have taken some damage. Thermite going for the plant though, with Hibana covering him. Plant going down onto CEO. Hibana has Valkyrie has no Nitro to play from below, so both Valkyrie and Clash will have to push. Clash gets pushed by the Hibana while EVD gets killed onto Cryo. That's now 1v1 between the Hibana and the Valkyrie. Hibana has a slight advantage here on HP. This is the Hibana. Sorry, I meant to say Valkyrie has a slight advantage here on HP. Pre-fires the Hibana, but Hibana is able to take the Valkyrie out. And that makes this 2-0 in favor of the attackers. Before you say anything, I think this was a much closer round than the previous one. I think that with the attackers kind of slack is in the department of Mute. I think you have Mute playing on that position is very, very good for the defenders, but having Mute with the SMG-11 peek through all those long sides with the vertical holes he opens up with the shotgun is not the best of options. But what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think the best thing they could do there, and I really do think this is, especially when there's peeking from Garage very early on in the attackers, was just bring an ACOG, because the ACOG would have helped with the vertical holes, challenging Garage if they wanted to challenge that. But they really do need to change up how they hold that top floor. They need to bring an ACOG. The Clash worked out at that time to an extent, but the attackers did get quite aggressive, which gave the Clash chance to get a double kill. I think if they sat back and held more passive angles and covered the plan, it would have been a lot more easier round for the attackers, but they won the round out to the end anyway.
Totally agree with you. They do seem to be though very persistent on this hold. It does seem to be a very well prepared hold in props to Anti-MKB. They are a team that's famous for doing prepared strats how they know to do, doing their homework where they go, and I think that's one of the reasons they are so far into the losers bracket, and generally the qualifiers where other teams have already been knocked out. They're going to be bringing out the mirror this time. I think that's the switch from the mirror onto the Mute, and I think that's going to be a good option for them. Mirror obviously has the ability to both see further away and play her gun. I think even though the Vector is a close quarters favored gun, it does have the ability to play into quite the bigger range than the SMG-11. Here's where the mirror though has the disadvantage onto the Mute that her shotgun does not open up holes as quickly as the Mute shotgun does, as the SA shotgun does. So now we're gonna have to risk to open up the holes, the vertical hole, the horizontal holes that the defenders need in order to pick into the attackers entering from stairwell windows and from skylight. Might be in from skylight. Attackers again taking their time to enter the map. 1 minute already gone, and the attackers have not yet breached into the map. Capita has just entered into stock trading, tried to pre-fire any unsuspected defenders through that wall, but now he's given his position away. Valkyrie again playing on the down floor. I think that the Valkyrie has been one of the most crucial operators in the success that the defenders have had in the past few rounds. Even though they didn't win, she has been the most crucial part of their defense. She has been playing absolutely great on that down floor. Now the Valkyrie is onto the Vigil, and he's playing deep onto the bank garage. Tough any time now. He's quite in dangerous position with 2 defenders right in front of him. We're gonna have to see what EVD is able to pull off here in terms of flanks. Clash very low on HP here. She has been losing some health. I think that's from the attackers on stockroom. Capital. And the pushing Hibana onto the main stairs. She's gonna have to time this with Vigil to flank the Hibana that is on the main stairs. This is Zofia, I'm sorry. Zofia pushing into the clash. She could stun her and take her out. If the Vigil times is well, the Zofia does see the Vigil, but it's not able to take him out. Meanwhile, Zofia does take out the clash. That's clash down. Yaris takes out the strip giraffe, and that's castle also gone. Attackers running their own time though. That's double kill. There's 1 kill from AMC, another kill from Splug, making this a 5v1, and final kill from Splug, giving him the double kill onto Zauk. Oh, what a round. I mean, the defenders did not hold this out at all. The attackers are taking this very passive approach to their to the objectives. They are taking their time, don't enter the maps correctly, but when they do it very efficiently, and they execute to perfection. What do you think on Strip Giraffe? Not actually playing on his top right here. He's constantly been getting picked off as either the first or second frag of the Solaris team. Do you think that maybe this switch something up?
Yeah, I know. I mean, the problem for Strip Giraffe, I think, is that he's just playing. I'm just looking. Is that he definitely needs to either play a lot more passive, or he needs to have a teammate with him to be able to try and get the refrags and to be able to play. His problem is that what I saw that round again there is that he could have easier played any one of the teammates, it was him or the Vigil, they could have played aggressive on that Thermite, because every round Thermite has repelled on those east windows before we playing in, so they could easily have possibly picked him off, which could have slowed down the attacking push. But the main problem that round was that they were confused on what bomb site they're going to, as it was contested before they actually picked, so that it was contested on who was going to go to what bomb site. So I think they just didn't help themselves there at all.
Totally agree with you. Obviously, having the first flag on your team's side is very crucial, because it gives you that morale boost that you maybe need to carry out the rest of the round. I don't know if you agree with me. You're obviously much more experienced in the competitive scene than I am. But we're going to be seeing the defenders 3 rounds into this game. They are going to be going in the 4th round onto the favored objective for this map. We're going to be seeing a heavy push into open area. Jaeger already taking some damage. I think that was from the Capital, who's now entering. Also gets a bullet through that wall. Doesn't cut off a lot of damage because it was through the wall and 1 bullet only, but there's still something to mention. Hamzy gets a kill onto EVD, and EVD, who has been one of the most helpful members for his team, is now taken off only 1 minute into the round. Tigers are playing this much more aggressively now than the previous rounds. We're going to be seeing how this works out for them. Capital gonna be joining out the Jaeger, taking him out as well. Meanwhile, Zach gets a kill onto MC. So now the Zofia gone. I'm not sure if he managed to use any of his mines. The grenade launcher. Smoke, interestingly enough, not playing with a shotgun, even though we did see that Anti-MKB like their horizontal holes to peek through. They're gonna have the pulse playing. Not pulse's common spot on this objective is on the vault, but maybe Anti-MKB have a different use for him. Try maybe scan out any members pushing into green stairs. He's gonna be seeing that Capital. Bad timing cannot bring an IQ from Solaris. That could be really helpful on countering that pulse this time. Thatcher pushing into server room, but he's gonna be needing the help of Thermite to open the wall that teams typically open up to go for the plan. One of the most powerful plan position in the entire game, I think, is that plan onto CEO office, onto CCTV office that you just have your half body outside and you are just your half yourself planning in. It's one of the most difficult plans to counter if you don't have a nitro or a smoke or an echo. Paul's gonna be scanning the attackers coming in though. I'm not sure how the mirror's gonna be using this. The mirror is capped out. Now she's also taking bullets through the wall. Paul's gonna be going for the nitro. He gets a kill onto Cryo, but it's too late. The diffuser is down. A split second. If she had done this a split second earlier, this would have been a much different situation now. But it's a 3v3 with diffuser down for the attackers. Thatcher staying on point to cover it. Himana covering the flank from open area, and Capital watching the hatch. He misses most of his shots onto the mirror, and the mirror is gonna be pushing into the Thatcher. Interesting battle here. He does get the kill onto the Thatcher. Claymore of Spluck gets a kill to Zach. That's supposed to pass. That tried to flank into the Hibana. She will have to pick into the Capital though and try and go for the defuse. Capital has dropped from the hatch. That's also now Hibana dropping from the hatch. He goes for the kill, doesn't get it. Wow, what a clutcher by Yaris. Excellent play, dropping from the hatch, getting a double kill and securing his team the round, making this 4-0 in favor of Solaris. I mean, this was one of the typical holds you see in ranked, maybe, with the pause playing onto Vault. He was originally playing into Garage, trying to spot anyone from Green Stars, typical mirrors as well. Echo is banned, obviously, so not able to help them. Do you think that maybe they should have done something different with their roam game? Maybe the chances have kind of fallen back when he saw the push coming into the CEO office, to the open area?
Yeah, I think the problem was there is that Giraffe was in open area, and as soon as he saw the push coming, instead of rotating either upstairs or staying somewhere else on the second floor and trying to waste more time, he played quite aggressive, but then like quite an aggro passive style by just sitting in that doorway and trying to wait them to push in. But the problem was there is the two roamers were quite separated, and they didn't really have anything to help them with their roam game. It was just them basically trying to get picks instead of working together or having reinforcements or investing more upstairs to try and hold upstairs. I think the problem there was the roam game really lacked. The attacking team was able to get them an advantage very early on.
Yeah, obviously you being one of the most experienced players in the league with V3, what would you say is one of the most important parts of roaming effectively in the competitive scene?
I think roaming wise, you've got either roam as a duo and stay together, not too close, but stay together to where you can refag if one person gets picked off, or if one person's getting pushed hard, you can support them. Or your other option is like you might do on different maps like Villa, if you're defending Trophy, invest reinforcements and equipment elsewhere on the map to try and slow down that roam clear and slow down that push.
I totally get you. So it does seem that teamwork from the roamers is one of the most important aspects of them. Not just gonna be again pushing into stockroom with Vigil being right there. He almost aims for that drone. That would have got him killed if he hadn't gone for that drone. Capitan misses all his shots. So does the Vigil. So now it's everyone on the full health. They're pushing into Janitor's room. He goes for that wall bang, but Zofia pushes him too aggressively and gets the kill onto him. That's now Zag gone with only 1 minute into the round. I'm not sure if he was the only roamer in top floor. Yeah, he was the only roamer in top floor, which is quite depressing, I'd say. We're just now talking about having teamwork between the roamers, and This obviously wasn't the best of examples of that. We're gonna be seeing a bottom floor hold again. Legion is playing on the teller's office. He's in a bad position. Meanwhile, Janzi gets a kill onto MC, and Splag gets another kill onto Janzi, throwing him out. Has a 3v4 in favor of the attackers. I'm not sure where he's being pushed from. He does know that there are some people entering from the teller's office as the Hibana trying to break the hatches. Hibana also has to watch out for Legion not to flank her and kill her off. I think they have to push this Legion if they are to proceed and push onto the objective this way. Legion has been constantly droned out here. You see the Thatcher pushing into the teller's office. Still not sure where he's been pushed from. He does not know if they're from main lobby. He knows they're from Archives teller's office, but he's wasting quite a lot of time here, the Legion, doing this very effectively. If he plays this right and the attackers do not give him too much importance on him being there, then he could pull off one of the most critical flanks for this round and for this game, let's say. Both Capital and Thatcher now on very low health. So is the Legion. I think, yep, Maestro is knocked and Thermite is going for the plant. No Nitro, they're stopping. Oh, I'm sorry. As I say that, Liam throws the Nitro, getting killed into Cryo. Splug finally eliminates Evity playing on that teller's office, and he almost gets a kill into the Hibana, but Yar is able to get Splug, making this 5-0 in favor of Solaris. What a dominating attacking half we've been seeing. What do you think is functioning at this point on the defensive side? Because we're seeing a team that is well prepared with their strats, that is taking this very well. They do seem to know what they're doing, but I think it's something that's mentally dysfunctioning because they have been going into different objectives, preparing this very well. What would you say is the difference here between these two teams?
Again, that round, it was on about teamwork with the Vermis beforehand, and they did attempt it with the Legion and Jaeger both roaming quite near to each other with Tellers and Archives, but they left the Vigil upstairs on his own. And I really think they should have had the Vigil and Jaeger roaming Tellers and Archives and let the Legion stay downstairs on site, because he had 4 Legion mines that he wasn't able to put down because of where he was playing, which could have slowed down the push a bit more. What I'd like to see from that bottom floor hold really is to have those 2 realms possibly invested, Tellers and Archives area or somewhere on that second floor, but a third kind of room holding server, reinforced server hatch, hold server or server stairs, just because the attackers haven't pushed there at all until the last minute, minute 20 seconds. If you're able to hold that and maybe you can get another 20-30 seconds or get a pick, the attackers are really going to be struggling to open that wall up in time and plant that diffuser.
Totally agree with you, because at this point the attackers we have seen them, they've been taking a very slow approach to this game. Round after round, they're just joining out the roamers, making sure everything's joined out before they enter, which is, don't get me wrong, it's a very good strategy, but the defenders need to see that, read that, and capitalize on that. They did bring the smoke on the first round. They went onto defense on the basement, and I think smoke could be the total game changer here for them. And if they're utilizing well enough to just try and stop that plant from the Thermite, they need to find a way to somehow counter that Capital, who's been constantly bullying that Mira out of first place and not enabling her to utilize her position well enough. Teamwork now, this is the key word for the defenders, as they have the Caveira and the Vigil working together. Meanwhile, Genius gets a kill onto Valkyrie, 5v4 in favor of the attackers. Again, the man advantage for the attackers. They do seem to be pulling a heavy push here from Garage. They are rushing in, bodies dropping like flies, and that's now a 3v2 in favor of the defenders, with 3 kills coming out from I think that, I'm tempted to say that was the Jaeger. Yeah, that was the Jaeger. Liam sitting onto that lobby. He did see the attackers pushing in from the Garage. Caveira gets a knock onto the Thermite, plays it safe and does not go for the interrogation, which would have been a safe play because Lion is right there, ready to refrag her. Only 1 member now left from Solaris, and we could be seeing the first round for Anti-MKB, 6 rounds in this game. And yep, this is gonna be the first round for Anti-MKB, trying to make their way back into this game, not on match point yet, so definitely doable. So they are now 5-1. I'm not sure if you'd agree with me, but when teams have a mentality that seems to be working out for them, I don't see why it's fit for them to change it. I mean, we did see that Solaris had a mentality all this round, just throwing out everything, know where they're going, and do the roam clear very effectively. And this round, we just saw them rush into the lobby from garage on the first 30 seconds with their entire team. What do you think on mentality changing mid-round when you're succeeding, mid-game? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was quite a weird thing to do. The defenders did only have one player on site, which I believe was I think it was the Jaeger, because they brought quite a roaming lineup. It was either the Jaeger, I think it was the Jaeger, because the Valkyrie got picked off. But yeah, so I think as soon as they saw that, they thought, let's push Garage, but it backfired massively because they really are really tunnel vision and tunneling 5 players into quite a small area of where they can push from. So all the defenders had to do was just hold the different angles, which they did, and they was able to just pick them off. Whereas I think if the attackers did that open area push again, which they did start to do while it looks like we're taking off the Valkyrie, I think it could have been a different round. I think it would have been 6-0.
I agree with you. I think what you say is totally correct, because the fact that there were quite a few roamers off the objective, and maybe the attackers could have capitalized on that if they just would have picked off the members that were on the objective. This could have been 6-0. Now we're gonna be seeing the halftime. So the side switch. It's now Anti-MKB on defense. Sorry, has now Solaris on defense and Anti-MKB on attack. So Solaris are gonna be taking this typically, controversially, to Anti-MKB, who just played their entire first 3 rounds onto top floor and lost 3-0, or losing 3-0 at the end of that. They're gonna be starting with bottom floor. We're going to be seeing the Meister come out, which I think was an operator that Anti-MKB heavily underutilized. They did not bring him at all. I mean, could have been very crucial for them, could have changed a lot of things. I think they did bring him in 1 or 2 rounds, but he wasn't very well utilized. That's Samsey getting the first kill onto Evity. Twitch gone. I think she was the fragging power in the team alongside IQ. As the attacker is trying to clear out this top floor. Defenders have retreated from top floor, I think. Now playing onto middle floor. Nobody. Everybody is down onto the objective. There's now Thatcher trying to push down green stairs. That's Valkyrie on the base of green stairs, opening up a very smart holder onto the barricade. Obviously this requires a great amount of communication to know if you're being pushed by garage, which we have seen Solaris possess quite a good amount of communication there. She does light up the Thatcher, but Giraffe's able to kill off Hamzy. Unlucky there for the Valkyrie to lose that fight. He was on the advantage. I'm not sure why Giraffe chose to just rush in like that. He was picked off by the edge in favor of the defenders. Taggers with 1 minute left. They do have the thermites, so they could still open that wall on the server room and go for the plan. Diffuser onto the Hibana, who is playing on open area. They are gonna need the diffuser to go for the plan on server room, but they do have the Meister come inside CCTV, so this could be very tricky. I'm not sure they cannot check out the Meister cam unless they have someone picking it, as long as they're planning it. Thermite now onto Adaminov's hatch. I'm not sure why he's the one with the diffuser. There are no smokes from the attacking team left to try and flush out the defenders onto a position where they will be better off killing them. Let's plug in and kill onto Zelk. IQ gone. Only the 2 hard breachers left for the attackers. Not for long, as Thermite is dropped by the smoke. That's the diffuser down inside in the middle of the objective as well. Genius gets the final kill onto Genius gets the kill onto Liam, and Yaris shotguns down Jianzi, making this 6-1 in favor of Solaris. What do you think on the utility picks there by Anti-MKB? I mean, no smokes coming out. There was Twitch, the IQ, Thatcher, Hibana and Thermite are obviously the typical picks, but I think that those last 2 picks, which on this case was IQ and Twitch are sometimes some of the most critical for all of the objectives on the bank. What do you think is the best utility to bring on bottom floor?
I think for the bottom floor there, what I would have bought is probably would have bought Gridlock just because she offers the smokes. You have to go for the plant, which that I bring now. You have to go for the plant, but as at the same time, when you've got those mirrors in play, if the holes are big enough for the shotgun holes, and you're a good enough Gridlock, you can easily get the Gridlock mines to block the server door, go through the rotation hole so they're in front of the mirror, so they have to shoot them out the way or impact them out the way. So it just, distracts the defenders for a lot of time. Most importantly, should bring the utility of the smokes and the possibility of slowing down a push back into that bomb site.
Yeah, obviously Gridlock very new into the competitive scene. I think, yep, don't think obviously it's a fact that this is her first season in the competitive scene, so maybe that could throw off a lot of teams. What you said there, with throwing Gridlocks through holes, trying to lock down areas, I think that's very smart too. As you said that, the 6th pick off the Gridlock onto the Ash, which I think shows that they're going to be trying to push for those roamers this round and try and get them. So they're going to have their mind totally focused on the objective. Zauk, he's not doing so well frag-wise this game. I mean, especially compared to his teammate Liam, who's on the Thermite role. Always nice to see support players be their top fraggers for their teams. Splug also being the top fragger from his team on the dock right now. But obviously having a support player being the top fragger of your team shows that something is dysfunctioning between the support players and the roamers, and you need to fix something in order to have your roamers get more and more kills. That's, as I say that's both Splug and Amzi killed off by the Anti-MKB players. That was Janzi and Zofia. Janzi playing with LMG, very interesting here. I'd like to see how he utilized that LMG. Zofia now on half health. She almost catches Castle sitting on that long desk. I keep pushing up the main stairway, breaking the barbed wire. That's killing from Evity onto Yaris. Kill from Genius on Evity. And Zauk getting another kill onto Cry. That's not 4v1. Only the mute left for the defenders with 1.5 minutes left. Yes, Igniter kill onto Zauk. That's the Zofia gone. Lights up the IQ but not able to finish her off. That's now 6-2 in favor of Solaris. Well, that was a very quick round. I think that the Ash pick, she did get one kill, and I'm not sure how the Zofia was allowed so much space into getting into long desk and front reception on the top floor. Obviously some miscommunication from the roamers there. Do you think that maybe they should have gone into archives and tellers, because that did not seem like a very well prepared strat for Solaris on top floor there?
Yeah, again, archives and tellers is usually seen as the secondary bomb site, but CAO is becoming more picked. I personally think the problem there for Solaris was their roam player. They had two roamers, who one was a bottom floor. They were both playing very loose roams, and they had quite a lot of operators off-site and in different positions, which led to the attackers being able to get two early picks, and then, like you saw with Zofia, was able to push into long desk without being contended due to nobody really being on the site. So I really do think that for that bomb site, they need to play more of an anchor role. Maybe bring an ACOG operator to try and just challenge some of those long angles, and just try and delay as much time as you can with maybe having one or two roamers but who are on that top floor trying to hold that corridor down.
I agree with you, mate. I'm not sure whether that Jaeger was staying down there on Garage, but whatever he did obviously did not work out. But I was starting to say something about the inequality between frags from support players and frags from fraggers on this game. Obviously, you see Splug, he's a support player from his team, 12 kills. Liam, he's playing hard breach, 10 kills for his team. Do you think that the main part of being a fragger is getting the initial kills for your team, or wasting the time from the attackers when you're on defense?
Yeah, as a fragger, I personally think on defense your main job is to waste as much time as you can. If you're in a position where you can't get out of it, you can't, rotate, you can't get into a different position to waste more time, then in my opinion, the best thing to do is play aggressive and try and get a few picks or the right people. But your main job is to just, play in positions where you have the attacker attention, and then once you start to get pushed, you back off a little bit. Still, if you can zone, get more attention, and just waste as much time as you can.
Meanwhile, Yaris does get a kill onto the Twitch. Janzi spends an entire grenade to finish off the downed Jaeger, who was previously downed by the Zofia, rappelling onto the garage windows, the windows that are opposite to the garage roof. Zofia bringing down the castle there, sees the castle, kills him off. Poor reaction times there by Kraya. I'm not sure how Zofia did that, repels from the main lobby skylight. Meanwhile, Splug gets a kill onto Janzi. That's now the buck gone. Some utility off the table for the attackers. No soft breaching for now, I think. Only the Zofia left with 2 lifelines grenade impact, but they are both gone. So now they have the Hibana as the hard breacher. She has 1 Exkyros pellet left in her, and the Lion, who has 0 EE1Ds. So they're gonna have to push for the frags here. Not a lot of things they can do with the utility they have left. 1 minute and 10 seconds left as well, so quite a bit of time space there for the attackers to make something happen here. If the Lion can push in here, she might catch the Legion off guard onto the long desk. Legion bucks off. That's the Lion getting a kill onto the Legion. Poor anticipation there by Splug for where the Lion was. Now 3v2 in favor of the attackers. Hibana steps into the goo mine while Zofia pushes in from exactly the same place she pushed in last round. Almost clips that band, his head off. Now both attackers are 1 bullet's worth that Valkyrie is getting. She has 1 nitro cell left. She could make something work here with 30 seconds. Meanwhile, the bandit inside is picked off. Lion's going for the plan. She's not going to be able to do something with her nitro here from below because she does not have any cameras, by the looks of it, to tell her the info on where the attackers are inside the objective. So now the diffuser is down. Valkyrie is on 1 bullet's worth of HP, and she'll have to push this against 3 almost full HP attackers, except the Zofia, who doesn't have HP. Lion almost wallbangs that Valkyrie. She continues surprisingly chilled out for the how close she escaped her life from that Lion, but doesn't matter because Zevity picks her off 3 seconds later on that staircase. What do you think of the Valkyrie still being downstairs with 20 seconds left? Obviously, she did not have anything to give her any info at all on where to throw that nitro. So do you think that was a poor judgment call there by the defenders?
Yeah, it did look like at one point there was a Valkyrie cam in the site as she was getting some pings, but it probably did get destroyed, so she didn't have a clue where to throw the nitro. But I think her one thing she should have done is attempted to use the nitro cell to somewhere near where the last ping was. She could have got she could have got the planter, she could have got one of the players. She might have got nobody, but not using that nitro cell just didn't help her. Or using it, she might have been able to stop the plant, delay it a bit more time, or pick one of the attackers off, which would have put it to a 2v1, which would have maybe helped the defender have the confidence to think they can actually win the round. I think the problem there again though for defenders was that they didn't bring the ACOG to challenge those long angles, the Jaeger on those garage windows. I think if you bring the ACOG to challenge that, it does make it a lot harder for the attackers, and it makes it double-sided, not just one-sided.
Totally get you there, man, but I mean, what I see a lot of times from defenders in these 1v3, 1v4 situations is that they expect the attackers to push them when they are on a totally different floor. They just sit there, hold a pick, waiting for the attackers to push them, which never happens because the attackers have the diffuser. The attackers are able to plant this down and see it off, and obviously much better to start your push when the attackers are planting because they are not expecting gas much there. You might be able to start off with a bigger advantage. Talking about unexpected things, that Twitch drone is able to sneak up and break that mirror, which obviously was one of the strong points of their attack, but even without it, I think that's a well-prepared mirror there by Genius, so pretty smart enough. He'll be able to hold this, but he'll be counting heavily on AMC holding that garage with his life. AMC not counting on it as heavily. Has fallen back. We have the Zofia, and yeah, the Zofia only. She's on half HP, making her way through the garage as the rest of the attackers clear off the middle floor and turn off the top floor. Zauk going into open area alongside the I2. No roamers by the looks of it on either floor, so the entire defense bulk is focused on the bottom floor. Smooth does seem to be in quite kind of a little bit of a moment here. Nope, is back here. And Twitch trying to push her way into CCTV. But Evity is right on the doorstep of the bombs. I'm not sure if the defenders have realized that he's inside in the middle of their objectives. He does get a pick onto the smoke. He's low on health now. He could get that Jaeger if he doesn't pick this correctly. He's getting pressured though. Jaeger sees him and does get him off. I mean, that Zofia has been getting herself onto positions in the middle of the objectives for round after round now. As Johns gets a kill on Splug, Nitro Cell from AMC there, downs Zauk, kills Zauk, and downs the Nomad. As now a 3v1 favor of the defenders. That's the win. Great play there by Genius to push the attackers as they were reviving. That's gonna be game now for Solaris at 7-3. Good play there by Anti-MKB. I think those 3 first rounds that they spent trying to defend top floor were a waste. We could have seen a much different game there if that hadn't happened. Both teams seemed to perform much better on tech than they did on defense. I think that absolute MVP there for that game was Splug. He did manage top frag from a support role, even though in the last one he did switch on the Jaeger. He stayed inside the objective. I think that was more of a utility pick than a frag centered pick. But what are your thoughts on what went wrong and what went right for the two teams in this game? General thoughts closing this up.
Yeah, I think anti-MKB, to start off with, again, like you said, definitely true. They spent way too many rounds trying to defend that top floor. Personally, as soon as you don't defend it the first time, maybe the second time try it again. They adapted, but I would have, as soon as the first time don't defend it, okay, let's go bottom floor and let's make sure we get a win under our belts. Because as soon as the attackers won those top floor attacks, they had the momentum to be able to help them push on to get more rounds to get to the 5-0, which gives them a good cushion. Again, as well, I think roaming wise, Anti-MKB were very weak. You know, they either had a solo roamer or they had people roaming but not work as a team and quite separated in what they were doing. I think Solaris, up until that one round they lost on attack, did really well of droning out the roamers, taking the time to push and getting those picks. In the end, you know, Solaris did come out on top, which I think, reflecting on the way they played today, was the right outcome. Anti-MKB did have some good strats that, if they were able to execute them properly, it could have been a lot closer game. It could have gone to overtime, especially if they didn't spend that time on those first 3 rounds.
I agree with you, mate. I think that Anti-MKB, I tend to Anti-MKB was the more prepared team here in this game. Solaris, however, props to them for winning their gunfights, being very scholastic with their droning and very accurate with it. Next for the viewers now on the collective road to the last spot for the Masters League is going to be the game between Delta Force 6 and let me check 1 minute. I think that's also Delta Force 6, yep, and P4V. Very strong game coming up. P4V being one of the most famous teams on France. They obviously have a lot of supporters coming in at every live and supporting them fanatically. So it's a don't miss game. We're gonna be seeing you there for who's gonna be the next spot inside the final. Obviously, Solaris now have secured final.